Hi students, in continuation to our previous session on authority and responsibility, let me introduce in this video delegation of authority and responsibility to empower the employees. So this delegation of authority and responsibility is another integral part of organizing function. So, in organizing activity, so we assign responsibility while giving authority, right? So, if any employee, especially the managers, if they want to complete the task, right, they need authority, and at the same time when they have authority, so even sometimes they need to share their authority with the lower level employees for effective functioning and effective operations of each and every job. So in this video we will understand how the authority and responsibility is delegated in different levels of the jobs, and how it can be done. So what are the benefits of this delegation of authority? So if we don't delegate, what will happen? If we delegate, what are the benefits for the organizations in terms of accomplishing tasks and the targets of the organizations. So in this we will see that what is delegation, especially when you look at the authority and responsibilities, right? So we delegate authority, and at the same time we are assigning the responsibility, right, by giving authority. So that means we are sharing authority, delegating authority. So especially, let me just explain here. So what do you mean exactly the delegation of authority or delegation? Delegation is the process of assigning managerial authority and responsibility to managers and employees lower in the hierarchy. So the lower level people are getting the authority and responsibility from the top level managers. So they delegate the authority to the lower level people to accomplish the tasks. So it is to be more efficient, most managers are expected to delegate as much as their work as possible, so that the lower level people are empowered and enabled to take decisions and then to share resources among others, so that they complete the work within the stipulated time, even with less effort, less resources. So that is the benefit of delegations. So further, this delegation also explained by some of the writers as the process of transferring the responsibility for a specific tasks to another member and empowering them individual to accomplish the tasks effectively. So when you are expecting your lower level employees to complete the task, so they must be given some authority, and then so they're supposed to have the responsibility because of they received the authority that is delegated by their the top level people. In this direction you can see that, so the authority and responsibility and the things to be considered, so when we are delegating. So first of all, when you want to delegate authority to lower level people, we must see that the subordinates, the qualifications and experience, and the necessity of the employee's commitment. So you must assess the lower level people, whether they are able to take up that much load or pressure that comes with the delegated authority. So because they have to complete the task by using the delegated authority, and to that they need the coping, the inner the stamina and then competency. At the same time, expansion of employee, the capabilities, they're supposed to stretch their capabilities when they are getting the extra authority and then a responsibility. So that as a part of delegation, delegating this from the higher level. So the evidence of shared values and then perspective. So they're supposed to have that the mind. So when there is a power that is coming out of delegation, they're supposed to look at that. It is a kind of opportunity for them to do the work or complete the task. So at the same time, sufficient time for delegation is required. So we have to see that how much time that we are giving along with the delegation, so that the employees will complete the task. So in this way, you can see that the delegation is something related to managers and subordinates in between, and then there is a the passing the responsibility delegation from manager to the lower level authority. Then there is accountability on the part of the subordinates when they are receiving this authority and responsibilities. So in that context, you can understand the delegation. So when you look at this delegation, assigning and delegating privileges to the lower level people in the organization, it has got its some kind of the process. So first of all, there is a warner with authority, where you can see that the source or even starting of the authority. So that the authority from the warner or a source is assigned the privilege to the lower level. So then the lower level, you will find that the person is receiving the privileges, and then they hold it. They are the holders of this one, and then delegation of the privilege. So then they received the delegated the privilege that they are using at the end. The holder, who received that the power out of delegations, they use that in the job, so where they are operating, and so that they complete the task. In that way, you can see that there is a kind of flow that is there in the assigning or delegating the privileges to the lower level employees. So if you see in this direction, so there are 5 steps in the delegation. So first of all, deciding what to delegate. First, when you are manager, when you want to delegate your authority and some responsibility to the lower level people, you must assess and identify so what is to be delegated, and then you must decide on that. Then decide who will do the work task. So when you have a couple of people at your disposal, then all may not be able to take up that delegated authority. So you have to find out the right person by assessing the capabilities and competencies, so that the person is going to complete the task, and assign the responsibility. So while giving the authority, assign the responsibility, grant authority. So subsequently, responsibility and authority is given to the lower level people, and establish accountability. So then you have to establish accountability. Since they are getting the authority and responsibility, they have the accountability to complete the task. So in that way, you can fix the lower level people to complete the task. So in this way, you can see that, and there are certain principles for effective delegation. So then decide when, and deciding to whom, and deciding how, and effective outcome of the delegation is readily acceptable assignment and high morale, and then motivations and organizational coordination and efficiency, and then increased problem solving abilities, and more discretionary the time for managers, strong interpersonal relations, and then successful the task completion. So when we are giving the delegation to different levels of the lower level of the employees, so what will happen, so you can see that, so each and every person feels that they are empowered, no need to depend on the higher level people, so that they can take the decisions at the right time, and they complete the task. So that way you can see that it has got its own advantage when we have the delegating system in the organizations. So at the same time, if you see the levels of the management, and then types of the people, and then allocation of authority, responsibility, and delegations, there are 2 models here. You can see that basically the 2 models are in such a way that it is a line and then the staff functions. So line positions or line managers have authority to make decisions, and then usually have the people reporting to them, and that is the one line of activities. So then, whereas you can see that the staff functions, that is in the green color, you can see in the diagram. So here, so the staff functions who are actually supporting the line people. Line people are mainly responsible directly to the key business and key operations of the organizations. So the staff of the people are actually supporting the line people, and then whenever and whatever they required for them as assistants, they are supporting at back end, and then enabling the entire system in the organization, so that all are completing the tasks. In that way, you can see there are 2 types of positions, line and staff positions, and in the 2 levels also you can see the sharing delegation of authority and responsibility that varies from line to the staff, because the line is more important, line positions, the line jobs, and there you will find more authority, more responsibility. Whereas the existence of power and then authority or responsibility in the staff would be very less, and then that is not much. So that is the organization system. And further, if you see that the delegation and what are the benefits and barriers. So let me look at the first of all the barriers. The barriers are lack of confidence. So when lower level employees are not that much competent and then confidence, and then the delegation will fail. So when the lower level employees have fear and then vanity and insecurity and self importance, and they are not that much the proactive and then ready to take responsibilities. So in that situations, and the delegation of authority is going to fail, it will not be successful. So these are the barriers and the limitations of delegations. And the other hand, if you see that the benefits of the delegations, of course, there are a number of the positive things with this delegation, and then it increases managers' discretionary time. Then you can see that the time is saved so much, and no need of waiting for someone. And then the delegated authority enables the lower level people to take a decision at the right time, and then so that they can complete the task. So then it develops the subordinates the capabilities, of course, and demonstrates the confidence in delegates, enhances the commitment of the delegates, and then improves the decision making and increases the efficiency in all the different levels of the organizations. These are the main issues when we look at the delegation of the authorities. So with this, let me just stop here. Discussion on the delegation of authority and responsibilities in the organizational system, and then I'm looking forward to meet you again in the video 29 to discuss centralization and decentralization structure of the organizations. So with this, just wait and then we'll watch video 29. Thank you very much.